Morning, Michael.
Morning.
What's the mood in the camp ahead of a game like this, which, as you've said before, is a shot to nothing and a break from the league?
I've not seen any of the lads yet this morning. Obviously, they're all just reporting now, so I can only imagine what it would be if it was me as a footballer. You'd be looking forward to it. This is why you play in the FA Cup games. It's why you talk about get to the third round, or you get to the third round, get to the next round to try and get a plum tie, and it's absolutely what we've got. There'll be a little bit of intrepidation because they're not bad. But there'll be sort of like a nervous excitement amongst the players, and like you say, it's an opportunity just to get away from the league. It has been relentless. It is Saturday, Tuesday, asking the same players to go again and again and again. So a total free hit. The players will all get a little bit of kudos in terms of the next couple of days, which would be nice for them. A little bit of attention, the biggest free hit in history, and then move on.
And you always say the game pays you back. I suppose, in a way, this is payback for last year when you just missed out on playing Man City, isn't it?
We've had a conversation, not because of the FA Cup draw, but basically the last 2.5 years, there's been a lot of hard work gone in, and you get peaks and troughs. So we had a really good 18 months, but then within that there was the disappointment of being really good against Port Vale and then somehow losing the game. I still don't know how we lost the game. Then they draw Man City, so there's a disappointment. You kick on, you go on another really good run, and then the playoffs. So that's another one. And then we've responded well again this year in a difficult league campaign because it is so relentless again. So it's this is a little bit of a reward, a little bit of sugar for the lads. Like I said, a little bit of media attention, and then we'll crack on again from Monday in the league as normal.
Tactically, how do you approach it? Because you're a footballing side, they're a footballing side, but 3 levels higher. So it's not like kind of roughing them up would be in your DNA, is it?
I'm not sure that. I think there are a few more levels than 3 levels above us. The league might tell you that, but we'll do everything we can. We're not going to try and out-football them, quite clearly. You've just got to try and. All we've got to do is try and give a really good account of ourselves, and you never know what might happen. It is the FA Cup. So we've got things like a long throw. We've got people who are good in the air in terms of set plays. The key is, can you get a throw in there after to start with? But we'll do our work. We'll do everything we can to make it as difficult for them as possible. And you never know.
They're on a great run of form at the moment, which in a season like this is probably even more remarkable, isn't it? The one thing Pep Guardiola said last night was that concentration is the thing he fears about when his team are playing so well.
Yeah, well, I went to watch last night and I wouldn't have been too worried. It was a really good game. Aston Villa were brilliant. I thought they were really, really good, but ultimately they've still given up 30 shots on goal. So that goes to show that the level that Man City are playing at the minute. Went to watch it. 8-0 after 80 minutes. Really, really enjoyable game. Both teams played really well. Obviously, Man City, the way they are, the way they move the ball, it doesn't really matter who's playing. It's just numbers because you replace one for one. I think they took Sterling off and brought on. Mahrez came on. It's the same patterns, it's the same movements, and it's just a fresher pair of legs with the same quality. So they're on top form. I think it's fair to say they're the form team in the country, if not the world. And just to add to that, we've not won in 7.
I'm sure you're lulling them into a false sense of security, Michael. In a way, does it not matter who they play because of those patterns of play? You know what they're going to do. The problem is, how do you stop it?
I think that is the case. I think you go and watch whatever team they put out. You go and watch them 23s. You go and watch the under 18s. There is a DNA at the football club now in terms of the number 4 does this, the number 8 does this, and when the ball's there, the number 9 does this. So I think it's ingrained in them now. That the individuals, and that's the key. They've got unbelievable individuals, but the team ethic, the cohesiveness. I sat just behind the supporters yesterday, and they're winning 1-0, and they really are on top. And there's the noise coming from the bench, whether it's the subs, whether it's the medical staff, supporting. That they do seem a really, really tight knit group.
Obviously, they can only play 11 at any one time, which is kind of the one saving grace. You'd obviously want to be picking from the strongest possible squad. How's your squad?
Well, we're quite thin at the minute, which is obviously not ideal. We're waiting to see on a couple from Tuesday night. We're waiting to see where they're at. Chris Hussey looks like he might be struggling. Fair play to him. You know, I know a lot of players that with this game coming up on Saturday, he's played every minute of every game. Could have thought, I'll just give this one a miss because of the Man City game coming up, and he's tried to play for half an hour. His foot's swollen up again, and he looks like he might be a doubt. So, fair play to Chris as a senior player. You don't get these types of opportunities very often. Other than that, a few kicks, a few bumps, a few bruises. So we'll pick it up today and see where we're at.
How are Lewis Freestone and also Scott Flinders? Because obviously, Scott's been out with that bruised leg.
Lewis, again, I've not seen the lads yet. So we'll have a meeting after this, really. Find out, get the medical staff to assess who's in, who isn't in. Like I said, he had a bad toe. We're hoping that with the game coming up at the weekend, he'll announce himself fit, but we don't know whether he will be fit enough or not. Scott, every week I speak to you, Phils, and it's just a real slow burner at the minute. We just can't put a time on it.
On that basis, then, if it's Josh Griffiths in goal, how important is Steve Book's role as the goalkeeping coach? I know you dealt with the goal that Josh conceded on Tuesday night, but Bookie's role in that as someone who can just sort of, help a goalkeeper mentally deal with things.
Fair to Josh, I think one of his strongest attributes is his mentality. He isn't a lot of young goalkeepers. They're like a cat on a hot tin roof. They're anxious. They want to get involved. They want to show how good they are. And he goes about his business in a really cool, calm demeanour. He'll have been disappointed with the goal, obviously. There's no getting away with it. It was a freak. It's happened at Premier League level. I think there's 2 or 3 times it's happened at Premier League. So it doesn't happen very often. Unfortunately, it happened to him. Repeating myself, that's why he's here. He's here to make those mistakes for us rather than his parent club. So when he goes back to his parent club, he's got that mistake out of him, and hopefully it'll never happen to him again. But Bookie's role is, everyone at the football club knows what Bookie is. He's a good goalkeeper coach. He's the life and soul, but people sometimes that's all they see. They see the funny, the joker side. He's serious about what he does as well. So he'll definitely. I know he spoke to him after the game, spoke to him at half time, and he'll have had a chat with him between now and Tuesday night as well. So he'll be absolutely fine, Josh.
Michael, I say it every game, but good luck. I guess this one you need it probably more than most.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's a brilliant tie. It's a brilliant game for the whole football club. The money that's going to generate, the players get an opportunity to see what the best really look like rather than watch it on the TV. In terms of their size, their physicality, their technical ability, and their work rate. That might surprise a few that the amount of work that they get through. They're not just good players. So that's why we want it. Like I said at the very start of the interview, you're in the FA Cup for moments like this. So just go and give it your best shot. Will we win? Probably not. But you never know.
Thanks, Michael.
Cheers, Phils.
Hi, Michael.
Hi, John.
Having been up to watch them live, and I know Mickey's been up as well separately, what did you learn about City, if anything, that you didn't already know about them before?
Really. It was just a good game to watch. It was an opportunity to go and watch a Premier League game rather than a League Two game, because you don't get many opportunities to go and watch games at the minute because you're only allowed to go and watch one of your next 3 opponents. And obviously most of the time when that's happening, we're playing anyway. So, no, you'll be there till probably well into next week trying to look for a weakness. They are what they are. They're the best at what they do. Have been for the last 3 or 4 years. Obviously, Liverpool have sort of overtaken them, but Liverpool are having a dip at the minute, so they seem to be the form team. And it's just enjoyable to watch. It's basically the sort of almost artistry in terms of it's watching the best players in the world play the best football. So it's enjoyable. I'm not sure it'll be enjoyable to watch on Saturday, but like I said, I'm repeating myself, but it's the ultimate free hit. Just go and give the best account of yourselves you can, because no one's expecting us to win, but you don't want to go and be humiliated either. So the lads will be right on it. I can guarantee that.
You lived in Manchester for a long time, and when you first moved up there, they wouldn't have had the wealth and the riches that they've had over the last 10 or 12 years, would they? So how closely, and obviously you played against them on a winning team and you've been beaten by them, but how closely have you just watched their progress into probably the richest club in the world now?
I wouldn't say I've closely followed it. Obviously, living in Manchester, you don't have a choice. It's obviously there's only two teams really. You've got all the teams around the outside, but where I lived, it was a big United area. But I've got a lot of mates who are big City fans, and the thing with City is, I think there's sort of like a groundedness amongst the supporters because they've done the hard yards. They've been down in the lower leagues. They appreciate where they've come from. So there isn't that sort of snobbery that comes with it in terms of, I think that shows in the amount of supporters that have bought the online tickets and helping a little club like us. So they have developed, obviously, you know, when they first started throwing the money with Robinho and then Tevez with the noisy neighbours sign, and it's sort of just grown and grown from there. And ultimately, once you bring Pep Guardiola in, that's the statement of we're probably the biggest, richest team in the world.
I believe you had a City academy player renting your house in Manchester. Is that right? Was he a good tenant?
No, he's still there. He's still in there. So yeah, he's a good tenant. He pays on time, so that's all I'm bothered about.
And, you know, most importantly, probably, how have your sons been this week? Because obviously one of them's a big City fan, the other United. How excited have they been?
Yeah, there's a sort of double-edged sword, really. They're absolutely buzzing for the game. They're just the guy that they can't be there. But, you know, I said it before in a couple of interviews, they're both Mancs, so they're not plastic, they're not glory hunters. You know, you can actually see Old Trafford from the room they were both born in. So, but one's decided City and one's decided United. So, yeah, they're really looking forward to it. There's obviously a bit of giddiness. They're obviously on their online school meetings, and that's all they're talking about at the minute. So it's we just hope the club can do them proud.
And what do you think Man City will make of the Johnny Rock Stadium?
I don't know, to be honest. It's probably not a lot. It's the stadiums they play in every week. They'll be getting change in a lounge, as in a bar. But we'll make it as bittable as we can. The one thing they will like is the pitch. It isn't a League Two pitch, so to speak. It's, you know, you're not going to get a Ronnie Radford scene where it's like a ploughed field. So they will be able to play their football. We won't be training on it for the next 3 days, trying to make it as bad as possible, because there is a league campaign after this, and we do pride ourselves on playing good football. So we're not going to ruin the pitch for this one occasion, for a one-off. So that's the one thing that they will enjoy, and hopefully we can be as hospitable as we can and give them everything they need to make it a good day for them.
Do you know if they're going to be getting changed in the Jamie Victory Bar, or is there anything special being done for their changing arrangements?
I don't think there's anything special for them. The protocols are all in place, so I'd imagine, I don't know this, but I'd imagine they'll be getting changed in the same place as everyone else has. They'll just have a few more staff than League Two teams.
You've said a few times, Michael, in the build-up to this game, it's obviously not about you, but how valuable an experience will it be for you to be able to be against Pep on the touchline, hopefully have a little chat with him before and after the game?
Well, I'd imagine you can only learn. Like I said, just watching 3 or 4 of the games, but like not just watching it, studying it. So you're learning, probably going into a little bit more detail. So I probably know more about them now than what I did a week ago, because you've studied them in more detail. You know, they don't play the same way as us. So a lot of the teams that I do study don't play 4-3-3, because I study teams that play our shape. But no, I just thought it was amazing yesterday that a team of, you know, you got Fernandinho, Gabriel Jesus gets involved in a bit of a fracas last night, and he's literally 5 yards in front of me, screaming at Gabriel across the whole stadium, trying to calm him down because he doesn't want him to get sent off. And that sort of, that togetherness for, you know, I don't know how many caps he's got, I don't know how many winners' medals he's got, but he could be sat on the bench going, I don't want to get on, it's freezing cold, there's 5 minutes to go, but he's still there. And I think that's the real thing that got me last night, was to get that sort of togetherness with a galaxy of superstars. It's, you know, that's special leadership and management, that.
Last one from me, Michael. You played in the same back four as one of the Man City backroom staff, Mark Sartori. What are your memories of him?
He couldn't play for Man City. He was the stereotypical League Two old school centre half. You wouldn't, if you went past him, it's very rarely the ball went past and you. Normally he took one or the other. But he's done brilliant, Carlo. I've bumped into him a few times along the years, obviously changed his career, and did work with England for a number of years, still there at sea. He's one of the voices that you hear in the stadium, shouting and writing. So it'd be good to see Carlo. He was a good bloke.
Cheers, Michael. All the best.
Cheers, John.
Michael, I just wondered if I could ask you a quick question about the fundraising that's going on in and around the game. You mentioned briefly the online tickets, but also now the programmes. I just wonder what you made of the opportunity this club has taken from this fixture.
Well, I think I don't know a lot about it, because I don't do the whole online thing, so Joyce will fill me in. But in terms of the disappointment is the game isn't available to supporters. So I think you would be getting news shots of crowds and lines around the stadium, because it would have been the hottest ticket in town. So I think everyone's living in an online community. So the fact that the supporters have got together online, that the football club have got together online and come up with ideas, and I don't know whether it's a unique idea, I don't know whether it's been done before, but it's an opportunity for supporters to show their support without actually being at the ground. So I think it's fantastic that people are prepared to do it. People are prepared to put their hand in the pocket in these tough times, and it's all benefits the football club. Which the one thing it will do is, no matter what the score is tomorrow, the club will still be here next season, not just because of this, but because of acts like this and the FA Cup run, which is why it's so important, particularly this year.
Thank you, Michael.
Okay, mate.
Yeah, hi, Michael. Just on Josh Griffiths after Newport. I mean, how is he, and how badly was he shaken up? Any reservations about playing him in this game?
No reservations. Like I said earlier, is probably one of his biggest strengths is his mentality and his demeanour, his calmness. I think he's got a chance of going right to the top, Josh. He's a first-year pro. He was 18 when he came in. He obviously just had his 19th birthday. He's got all the attributes, and he'll only be better. He'll only be better for these sorts of incidents. It might have just freshened him, because one thing he will have to, if we've got any sort of chance tomorrow, he's going to have to be good tomorrow. There's no doubt about that, no matter what the score is. So no, absolutely no qualms about playing him. I've not seen him yet this morning, but he's obviously disappointed, but he's had a day to get out of his system, and we're back to work today to just focus on the positives of what he can bring to the team and the attributes that he can bring to the team.
And you mentioned Bookie, obviously, with his City connections. What a big match for him. What's he been saying about this match, and obviously his connections to the club?
Well, his connections to the club, but he's actually a Man United fan, Bookie, believe it or not. But no, it's just another one of these. This is what the FA Cup does. It throws up little stories. Obviously, Carlo used to play here. Now he's a Masseur. You've got the Bookie connection. My kids I've got City fans as kids, and so it's brilliant. Bookie's Bookie. Anyone that knows him he generally is the class clown when there's sort of an awkward moment or a moment where the ice needs to be broken or the silence needs to be broken. He's the one with the one-liner that comes up with that sort of quip. But he's also very serious about what he does, and he's passionate about what he does. So he'll have definitely taken Josh under his wing in the last 48 hours to sort of make sure he is ready for the weekend.
You mentioned the pitch, Michael. Obviously, the weather's been horrific. How much water has it taken? Any concerns about the weather and protecting the pitch?
The pitch will be absolutely fine. We played it on Tuesday night like a carpet, and obviously it's bounced down all last night and this morning. But there's blue skies out now. Just I'm looking out now, and there won't be a problem with the pitch. I can't see it being in any sort of doubt. It's the groundsman deserves a lot of credit. A lot of hard work goes into it, and he takes pride in his work, as they all do. But sometimes with finances and just the elements, they can't really protect it. But there's one thing Man City won't need to worry about, is the state of the pitch.
Just finally from me, your standout FA Cup moments over your career playing. What have they been? What are the upsets you've been in? What are your outstanding cup memories?
I've not had many, to be honest. Playing for Cheltenham, we got to the 5th round. So I think at the time we beat Oldham and Burnley. I think Burnley were a top Championship league team at the time. And then we got beat in the 5th round by West Brom. When I was at Cheltenham, we got to the 3rd round when we were non-league, and got beat by Reading. Other than that, not really sort of. I did well in the League Cup at Burnley. We got to the the last kick of the game. We got beat 4-1 in the first leg by Tottenham and beat them 3-0 at home and lost in extra time. But FA Cup, I can't really remember many. My international was the one I managed to play in a Spain game against Spain, and we beat them 3-2, which was the team in 2005-06 that went on to win the Euros that year. And then the World Cup the year 2 years later, and then the Euros again. So that's probably the biggest upset I've ever been involved in. And we beat England as well, although I only played 5 minutes in that. So it has been done. It can be done. The gulf between the two clubs is obviously enormous. But it'll be just a great occasion for everyone, hopefully.
It would be the biggest cup upset ever, though, wouldn't it, if you beat Man City?
I think so. I think, like you said, you watch the last two games against. I think Roy Hodgson's an ex-England manager who's notorious for setting up teams to be hard to beat, and they get beat 4-0. Last night, Aston Villa were absolutely superb, but they've still conceded 29 shots on target, 29 shots on goal. So we're under no illusions how hard it's going to be. It's not like someone said it earlier. It's not the old days where you could sort of rough them up and get at them, because you've got to get the ball first. That'll be the first thing, is try and get the ball, and then they normally win it back within 2 passes, and you've got to start the process all over again. So, listen, I don't think anyone's expecting anything from us. Even our supporters won't be expecting anything from us, as long as the players give the best account that they can.
Thanks, good luck.
Cheers.